Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states that private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. Basically, without the Harvard words, if the government of your city feels that your home is in the way of a business or institution that they feel is better for the overall community, they can destroy your home without just compensation. The Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states that private property should not be taken for public use without just compensation. So if they do that, they have to give you just compensation. But that does not mean that you determine what that compensation is. So if your home to you, because you built onto it, is worth $50,000, but the government says that it's worth $15,000, they will give you $15,000. And unless you fight, unless you have the resources to fight, there's really not anything you can do about it. A lot of the things, gentrification is a word that's being thrown around in 2019. The difference between urban renewal and gentrification is urban renewal is all government, institutional racism. Gentrification is private developers coming in, buying up property. So I can be a private developer, buy this piece of property right here, and do whatever I want with it because I'm a private citizen. Urban renewal was all government. That's the main difference between the two. My daughter is passing out. Meanwhile, in communist China, stop forcing us to sell our land so other people can develop it. Yeah, where do you think we are? America? Fifth Amendment says, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. I saw neon. I saw doctors and lawyers. I wanted to be on Henry Street. A few years ago, I met a man by the name of Mr. Richard Chubb. He was carrying around a book called Root Shot by Dr. Mindy Fullilove. And this book, Root Shot, she went to 3 cities, Newark, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Roanoke, Virginia. And what she did with her students is she studied the impact of urban renewal on local neighborhoods and communities. The Root Shot name comes from urban renewal shocking the root of communities. Mr. Richard Chubb was, he was interviewed by Dr. Mindy Fullilove, and he told Dr. Mindy Fullilove, and I quote, "There used to be houses here, they're now just buildings." And what he was doing, he was taking Dr. Mindy Fullilove around where the Civic Center is, and the Ford Company is, and McDonald's is, and post office is, and he was pointing to those institutions and saying those were homes, those were churches, those were businesses, that he actually knew the people who lived in those homes and went to those churches and went to those businesses and things like that. And so he said those were once homes, now they're just buildings. He also said, and as they crossed the bridge from the Civic Center over to Gainesboro, over to Henry Street, he said, "This is Henry Street. This used to be jumping. We had neon." Now, a lot of people do not understand the importance of neon, but Mr. Chubb explains it, that he didn't have to go to New York City to see the big bright lights. All he had to do was walk down the street from his home, and he saw New York City right on Henry Street. And can you just imagine, as a 25-year-old young man, who at 25, every young man wants to get out their hometown. Every young man wants to get out their hometown. But he didn't have to Because he saw New York, he saw Atlanta, he saw Los Angeles, he saw Charlotte, North Carolina, he saw Washington, D.C. That's where the neon part comes in. That's where Henry Street comes in. That's the importance of seeing doctors and lawyers while you're growing up. I personally do not know an African American doctor. I do not know an African American doctor here in Roanoke. Mr. Chubb's doctor, his whole life was African American. So you can just understand the importance of it. And Mr. Chubb was the last principal at Harrison Elementary School, which that school was the first high school here in Roanoke, and the principal of that school was Lucy Addison. People like Oliver Hill went to Harrison. Mr. Chubb went to Harrison when he was in elementary school, and he was the last principal of Harrison Elementary School in 1971. He walked through the streets of Harrison Avenue, knocking on doors, telling them that when they close the school, they're going to close the community. And what they did was they closed the school, and if you walk over to Harrison Avenue now, it literally looks like they closed the community. Because the resources that were once given to that community because there was a school there is no longer given. So Mr. Chubb was a longtime educator, and he retired from Hurt Park Elementary School.